What's up guys, welcome back to my Grand Cross video, and today we're doing a 7 Days Since X Black Clover What If collab. This is all fan art, all made by me, this is not real. Had a few comments saying, yo, when's the Black Clover collab coming? Like actually coming to the game, but it's not real. That's one thing I'm trying to not do, is trying to mislead people. It's literally just all fun for a video idea that I think is quite original. Now granted, this is kind of like a character concept video that BS Gaming's already done himself on his channel, but it's going to be a little bit different because we're going to go through all the events, we're going to go through all the characters, like how they will look with the skills and all that stuff. So a little bit different. I would recommend checking him out. He does more detailed stuff about the stats. We're not going to really do that here. We're just going to talk about what the characters actually do. So you're going to go see through a bunch of images, bunch of stuff, which you can check out my Twitter to see the full images, like preview, stuff like that. And I want to quickly say, this all depends on you guys. If you want to see this series continue, definitely support the video. Hit a like, hit the subscribe button. I don't want to set a like goal, but like 1K will do me fine. Like this took like weeks to make, boys. This is not something I can do in a day. You can tell by the effort went into it. It's definitely something that you're not going to see on any other Grand Cross channel. So hopefully you enjoy it. I gotta say as well, next episode should be Bleach. What if Bleach came to Grand Cross? And that'll be with my brother, because he does have a Bleach channel. But for the third episode, but depending if I want to make it a second episode, you guys can vote now in the comments below. So whoever gets the most upvotes or whoever gets the most comments, obviously don't spam the certain anime. Just spam any anime you want, and whoever gets the most upvotes or likes, whatever like that, I will be doing that in the third episode. However, there's one anime that I'm not doing, which is Fairy Tail, and the reason why is because Fairy Tail will eventually come to the game because it is owned by Kodansha. If you don't know what I mean here, in the top right, all the way over there, boys, you can see a little link to another video of mine where I kind of talk about what actual collabs could come to the game, and Fairy Tail will be one of them that will eventually come to the game. Just kind of depends on time. But without further ado, hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the button, subscribe. Boys, we need to support this video, because if it doesn't do as well, then maybe I shouldn't do these anymore, because, well, it took way too long. Where if you compare it to my actual Demon Melee Assault Mode leak, that got like, you know, 10k views, 200 likes when I didn't really ask for it. And yeah, that I could have made a leak video where this has effort into it, boys. So please hit the like button. I can't stress enough, because it all depends on you guys if this series continues or not. Hopefully it does, because it definitely is fun making these, and I hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so every collab has kind of been like the same thing, where you have like a certain criteria they have to meet with outfits, with events, and also, I guess, characters, right? So the one thing we can guarantee about any collab is there's always going to be 4 characters. Now, the recent King of Fighters collab did change up a bit to where we got 4 SSRs rather than getting the 1 free SR, and I think that's definitely the better option to go from 4th on, because, well, a lot of other shows have 4 main characters where we can't really afford to have the same main protagonist with an SR version, right? So what I did here was I picked 4 characters that I think if there was to have a collab with Black Clover, these 4 would come to the game. But also, since it is the first episode, I threw in a little treat, an extra character, because she is my favorite one, so I can't do a collab video without actually including her. And also as well, I should say, the abilities that I've chosen here aren't necessarily like, I wouldn't say like accurate. I mean, sort of, right? You can get what I'm going at if you have watched the show. But these guys are meant to be broken. Like, I'm not going to sit here and make dead ass characters. Like, let's make them fun. Let's make them broken. Let's see how we can counter them. And funny enough, the one who when I made these characters, especially Asta, the one came out afterwards, and he does counter Asta quite hard, so you're gonna kind of see that a bit. But yeah, let's jump in. So as all collabs start off, we always have to have a wallpaper, a loading screen when you first log into the game, and boom. Okay, so a big spoiler warning here. If you've not read past the elf arc, or I guess around episode 88 of the anime onwards, you will get spoiled for, I guess, the main villain, the whole, like, or arc stuff, and also as well, one of the characters who's like a massive reveal later on. So I definitely recommend probably skipping the video. I can't just sit here and say you're not going to get spoiled, because you probably will. And also, if you are caught up in the manga, there may be like 1 or 2, I guess, spoilers from the actual manga that you may actually not seen. But I won't say it. So if you do see it, unlucky. But It's nothing I can do about that really, because we're trying to do the best collab possible here. So yeah, let me jump in. Okay, so here's the wallpaper, or I guess the loading screen off the whole event, where if you first log in, this is what you're gonna be greeted by. And to be fair, it turned out pretty well. I do like the colors. Obviously, by the way, I'm not drawing these myself, so I kind of have to go around the internet and find PNGs. So you may see, if we do in the future, some similarities in like the PNGs that we use for the sins, because I mean I can't make them, right, so we're gonna have to keep on repeating some of them. But this one turned out pretty well. We have the main big bad boy threat in the middle. We have the devil, the word soul magic. I don't want to say his name because I guess not really relevant, but this is kind of a quick glance of what the whole event's going to be about. Obviously you have the 4 main characters, 5 if you get my gist, and then obviously some sins. I didn't include all of them because when I did add them, it didn't look too good. But yeah, well, let's I guess we jump into the main part of the whole video, which is the characters. Okay, so starting out, we have our main MC. We have Asta, the Black Ball Anti-Magic Asta. Here is all his cards abilities you can see on screen now. I should say I should flip the 2 cards around, because the attack card is actually the first skill. But one thing to know is he is transforming. Now you're probably thinking, how the hell is he transforming? Because he doesn't use an ultimate, or like it doesn't look like in the ultimate. And I'm gonna get into that because we're gonna have a new mechanic here. Because transforming characters are just absolutely they suck. So we have to do something to fix it. Okay, so on screen now you can see all the card abilities. Let's go over what he does first. So we have his passive. I guess that's the main option here. So when black count reaches 3, Asta will transform into black Asta for 5 turns. You're probably thinking, what the hell is black count? Well, it makes sense in a few seconds we go to skill 2. But here's his first skill. Cancel buffs and stances onto one enemy and inflicts damage equal to 400% of attack. This is, if you watch like the first episode of Black Clover, this is where the skill was taken from. Basically a character in the show does put up like a stance, a taunt, a shield even. And this basically what it pretty much does, right? It works in the game, it's already in the game, so it makes sense to have this. Not too broken, but you know, it's kind of a useless skill to be fair. But when we transform, that's when the stuff gets real. So here's the second skill. I'll leave my limbs behind. So increase the attack related stats by 15%. Bear in mind this is a tier 3, so it increases from 5% up to 15, and increases black count by 3. So once again, tier 1 is black count 1, 5%. Tier 2 is black count 2, and then 10%. And then basically the idea is kind of like mono red here. Ironically, he actually is red. But you want to pull a tier 3, either 2 upgrade cards in Gopher, or also 2 merges to upgrade once with Gopher to transform. And the reason why I've done this and not a transformation is because, yeah, this is not as good. So with this skill here, he's going to increase his attack related stats by 15% and also transform whenever he does get to either like above 3, right? So as soon as the count goes 3, he can use, you know, a tier 1 3 times to get it. He could use a tier 2 and a tier 1 to get it as well. Anyway, as long as his black count reaches 3, he will transform for 5 turns. Now, an important thing to notice for this one, since it isn't an ultimate skill, like Eren and Camilla, he's not going to get any additional effects for transforming, so he's not going to get the heal, which is very crucial because, well, his when he does transform, you'll see it. But to make him a little bit better, or a little bit easier to transform, if he somehow doesn't get a tier 3 or super unlucky, you can also transform with the ultimate, where unlike the other characters where if you just transform, it does nothing, this will transform automatically for you. You don't have to worry about it, but it also does damage. So just basically a normal skill where if he transforms, he gets it anyway. But this one does inflicts severe damage equal to 623%, and this is based on Arthur's ult, right? The reason why is because he does, you know, he cuts through a diamond, at least in the show, so it makes sense to have this ultimate. Plus, to be fair, I think with Sariel as well, you can see it, this will almost one hit anyone, and obviously it depends on what his stats are, which once again I'm not going to cover, but it could make this guy like some super hard crit damage character to where this literally just kills anyone. Okay, so once he does reach black count 3, he will transform, and you can see here this is abilities. Now I should say the ultimate, this is a combined attack with Yami, like you saw the artwork earlier on. The reason why is because in the future, if we ever do a Demon Slayer collab, like a what if here, or even in the future, I would like to have Nezuko and Tanjiro have an actual combined attack like they did in episode 19. So I thought, well, might as well introduce it now so it's not something new later on. But this is the same ultimate, is just literally increased. If you don't know, whenever someone does have a combined attack, it does increase about 150%. So exact same, it's just increasing the multiplier, right? So if it wasn't already going to kill, this will definitely kill. And I believe this is 6-6. I don't know what I put for the stats, but it might be 6-6. I'm not too sure. But then let's go over the skills. So this is where you're going to think, whoa, what the hell? This guy looks broken. So becomes immune to debuffs. And the reason why is because essentially every debuff in the game is magic. And obviously Asta is anti-magic. He can't be debuffed. So it makes sense why that happens. And also, when he's attacked, no bonus damage effect is applied. So yes, Elizabeth's shield. Now, once again, the reason why I've done this is because when he transforms, he doesn't get, you know, he doesn't heal. So he's already going to take a lot of damage early on in like turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 if he doesn't transform. So when he does transform, he's going to be a little bit of a tanky lad, right? And once again, if you don't know what this ability is, basically, you know, charge, ignores defense, resistance, like all them abilities that just ignore stuff isn't going to work on him. And yeah, I mean, it's a broken passive, don't get me wrong, boys, but I think for transforming, it makes sense. Plus, he doesn't heal, so I think the one Escanor, he'll probably still one-bang this guy here. So, I mean, if it was a thing in the game, probably wouldn't even get it off anyway, because Escanor will just kill him. But let's go over to Black Slash. So, this thing here inflicts damage equal to 250%, quite low onto all enemies, but then disables everything but an attack skill. So yes, this is Slater's debuff, but an actual attack. Once again, the reason why is because he does have anti-magic. Every debuff in the game does count as sort of magic, so I thought, okay, let's do this. Let's disable everything on the tier 3. Bear in mind, if it is tier 1, it does nothing, it just does damage. Tier 2 is only 1 turn, where tier 3 is 2 turns. So yes, a little bit broken, and especially with well, since attack skills don't really work at him because the attack multiplier doesn't work, it's going to be quite insane, right? But here's the Black Hurricane, an iconic move for Asta. I thought, well, what's the best way to do it? Let's give him Lost Veins charge ability. So, I mean, he could do, I guess, another crit chance like Sariel, but I didn't want to exactly copy him here. But yeah, just a strong AoE skill that will do a ton of damage. Once again, this does absolutely nothing because, well, I guess Fat King has this, which is quite a weak card. But it depends on Asta's stats. So if they want to make him broken, they could literally buff up his crit damage and crit chance to where it literally wipes out a whole team like Lost Vein. Or they can make it weak like Fat King and it does absolutely nothing. And then once again, his ultimate is kind of the same thing as his other one, just the multiplier has been increased. But yeah, that is Asta. So let me know what you think of him. I think I designed it pretty well to sort of disable and start becoming immune to stuff because, well, Black Asta is such an OP character where he can't be debuffed, he can't be attacked with actual, like, you know, magic attacks, which pretty much every character has in the game. I did think about, you know, making it so if he's attacked by a debuff, he evades it, but I thought that might be a little bit too broken, so which is why I gave him the no bonus damage effect is applied. So let's move on to the next character, Yami. Okay, so Yami is going to be a blue character and it's going to be a demon slayer, boys, because if you don't know, I guess in the series, his dark magic actually does do, it's the only magic that can actually affect demons, right, or devils, so it makes sense for him to have a demon slayer ability. So basically what he is, he's human, of course, right, he's blue, so works very well. That's actually probably a mad character towards Lost Vein. I just thought of that now. But here we go. So his passive here, I'll go beyond my limits. Increase basic stats by 3% for every enemy and ally that isn't human. Now, the reason why is because one of, I guess, Yami's abilities is to suck up all the magic around him. And obviously, well, if it's a human, they don't really have any magic. Like, I guess, Escanor, for example, or like Hauser, they don't really have any magic. So, I mean, he does, right, the wind, but just hear me out here. So he's going to increase his basic stats by 3%. Worked very well, because pretty much every other character in the game, apart from Escanor, is, I guess, unknown to account. I guess if you want to exclude unknowns, because you don't know what they are. But demons, you know, giants and all that stuff, they will count towards his passive. And then obviously this is in field, so maximum he can have is, what, 15% basic increase in stats if everyone isn't human. But with the one running around on JP, this, you're going to probably lose at least 6%, because everyone's going to be using the one. But also, to make on to what I said before, he deals 10% more damage to demons. Now, like I said earlier on, dark magic is one of the only magics in Black Clover that does do damage towards demons or devils. So it makes sense for him to do more damage towards demons. Now, since Yami is such a powerhouse, such a strong character, I decided to give him Darius card, or once again, the one's Escanor, a strong 600% attack damage onto one enemy. Why not? It literally, this is like one of the most broken skills in Black Clover, and it makes sense to do a super strong attack. Now, skill 2, Dark Cloak Black Blade. He inflicts damage equal to 350% onto one enemy, and also inflicts Black Hole for 2 turns. Now, obviously, tier 3, if it's a tier 2, it'll be 1 turn. If it's what's it? I guess a tier 1, it's 0 turns. Well, it doesn't apply it, right? But the Black Hole, any healing that character gets throughout that whole entire jury of that 2 turns, it will go towards Yami. So if you have a lifesteal Lost Vein, it will go towards Yami. So that's a pretty broken ability. I think I could see it coming to the future of the game. Also, you know, Lydia's healing, any other healing, like lifesteal, recovery rate will go towards Yami if it does apply it. So that's kind of a sick ability, not gonna lie. Bear in mind, it's a debuff, so if it is cleansed, it will just remove it. So it's something to look out for. But in here, boys, inflicts weak point damage equal to 385%, bear in mind it's tier 1, of attack onto one enemy, and halves all enemies' HPs by 50%. Now, this is broken early on, But if it's like, you know, early, like late into the game where everyone's kind of weak, this doesn't really do too much damage. But bro, this could be nasty. Like, this is actually kind of a broken ability. Not only is he probably going to one-shot the person he's targeting, he's also going to half everyone's current HP in the match by 50%. Now, the reason why I did this, because he does slice everything, it's a dimension cut, boys. It was so broken, it was even featured in the recent Smash Bros. Trailer. Okay, I had to throw that in, it's kind of a meme, right? But you get my point. Yes, it's not really a festival exclusive character, and if you get the 6-6, it can be kind of nuts. But to be fair, with the abilities running around, one-shotting, and also just so many auto removals, you may not get this off too much. But to be fair, you may think it's broken, right? But look at Lost Fane. Lost Fane wipes out your whole team anyway, so the fact he does weak point and also lowers everyone's else HP by 50%, it's fine, we can get away with it, make Yami kind of good. But now moving on, we have Asta's rival, we have Yuno. Okay, so here we go. Yuno is a green character. You can see all his cards here. He does have a buff skill, which you may think is broken, but to be fair, I'll get into in a minute why it may actually come to the game in forms of another character or two characters. Let's go over his actual skills. So firstly, he's a human. Once again, it makes sense. If you know the context behind what this Yuno is in the game, you may think he's unknown, but I think just for sake of it, let's make him human. So his passive, boys, is unique. When the hero evades, increase the skill rank of a random card. So not like Lost Fane, but he's not going to upgrade his own card. It could if it's random, but it's going to upgrade anyone else's card in the field, which is going to be pretty sick. And we'll go quite well with second skill, but his first skill here is going to inflict charge damage equal to 500% onto one enemy. Charge basically just ignores defense. I didn't want to make this skill too broken or make anything like kind of outrageous. Just a standard skill we already have in the game, mainly because, well, the second skill is his golden prize. It is Spirit's Hush Dance. This is a skill we use in the anime and manga, where he basically avoids any incoming projectiles, and this is why I'm adding it to the game, or like I'm saying this right now. It's because Draw and Diane, their little dance spirit thing they do is essentially going to be the same thing here, where they evade, but I tried making it into a stance, but I thought a buff would be kind of okay. So first, let me just say, you can only see the tier 3 here, but I'll explain what tier 1 and tier 2 is. So, taunts all enemies and gains evasion for 2 turns. You might think this is kind of mad, right? Which it kind of is, right? But you can still target the other characters in AoE abilities. If you have Asta, which cancels buffs and stances, this will be good against Yuno. Any other character that kind of cancel buffs, it'll be pretty sick. But to explain what this actual skill does, tier 1, so his first, I guess, is a bronze card, tier 1, 1-star. What he does is he taunts one enemy rather than all, and then that one enemy can only target Yuno, but if he targets Yuno, he evades. So the tier 2 will be the exact same, targets 1 or 2 random enemies in the other team, and then them 2 enemies can only target Yuno, he also evades. So realistically, unless you get a tier 3, this ain't going to be too broken, because well, other characters could target. He's only evading the person he's taunting, where, you know, the 2 other characters in the game or 1 could still target him. Plus he's green, so I guess Lost Thing will probably almost one banger depending on his stats. And yeah, it goes well with his passive. If he evades, he's going to increase the skill of a random card. It makes sense, right? I'm kind of curious how Netmarble is going to do this, because will Draw or Diane, when they do get their little evade skill, it's going to be something similar to this. I wonder how they're going to do it. So right now, it makes sense, at least for me. And we may see the skill in the future on like a festival Diane. Now, his Spirit of Zephyr, this is his ultimate card where he whips out the sword and does crazy damage. So what he does is inflicts damage equal to 490% off an attack onto one enemy. So a single target card with no bonus effects really. But then this is where it comes in. Adds the Whirlwind effect for 2 turns. Now this is going to be very similar to King, to where King damages everyone after your turn ends. This is going to work identical, but it's going to be, rather than doing damage, it's going to stun one enemy. It's random, because it's Whirlwind. It's going to just stun a target for 2 turns, and then, well, I guess 1 turn, but it lasts 2 turns. So you're going to get 2 stuns off. This can be very clutch, and I like the idea behind it. Like, he has a massive storm effect where, you know, after a turn, he gets stunned, and I think it works out pretty well. So yeah, that's all for Yuno. Let me know what you think of him. I think some people may think that taunt ability may be a bit too broken, but we're going to see it in the game eventually in some way or form. And yeah, let's move on to Noelle. Okay, so Noelle is going to be a strong AoE damage dealer, and you can see her skills here. By the way, the artwork for Noelle, there's like barely any PNG, so I had to kind of use this one. But you can see she does have a tank card. She also has like a buff skill, which I'm going to get into in a minute, and also an ultimate. Now, don't be confused, this is not a transforming ultimate. She does transform in the ultimate, like Galan, but she does go back to normal afterwards, so don't be confused in that half. But here we go. So here's our stuff. Human race again, once again, they're all human. So increase attack related stats by 5% when the user doesn't attack. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because in the anime, at least for like the early half of it, she always charged attacks, so you can essentially kind of class it as her charge and attack every time she doesn't attack during a turn. But also his second skill, which I skipped the first one, her second skill, increase attack related stats and defense related stats of all allies by 15% for 3 turns. Now we have, you know, increased defense related stats, we have attack related stats, so I thought, why not Sea Dragon's Nest, let's make it into one skill. I was tempted to make this into like an actual stance or like you know, a shield, but with like Tamio and Sario and all the other characters plus Elizabeth's shield, it makes sense for it to be a buff. I know it looks broken, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? Let's make them good, right? But the first skill, to go back to it, Sea Dragon's Roar, her massive damage AoE skill, inflicts push through, so that's a new ability, damage equal to 200% of attack onto all enemies. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's quite low, but you got to remember she's increasing her basis stats by 50%, so is the actual Sea Dragon's Nest. Also Gopher, because it is human, you probably want to bring her along with Gopher, which is going to be mad damage. But then here it is. So the push through effect is something new. So once again, she's charging it for a while. So rather than using, you know, 2-3 Sea Dragon's Roar during one turn to kill a whole team, she can only charge it for one turn. So obviously to make it do more damage and to make more people use only one skill, deals 2 times damage if only one skill is used during the turn. Now obviously to make the word a little bit better, she can use Sea Dragon's Nest. It's only attack skill. You can still use other characters. As long as only one Sea Dragon Roar is being used during that turn, she will do 2 times more damage, which is 40% of attack, which is around equal to Kyo's. I think it is 225, which he already does ton of damage. And with the attack for this stats being increased by Noelle, Gopher and other characters, this skill was going to do a ton of damage. Now moving on to her actual ultimate, since she does transform to Valkyrie armor for this one specific skill, or at least in the ultimate, she does get, you know, like a what are you even called? The weapon, you kind of see, I don't know what they're called, right? They little stabby things, right? So inflict pierce damage. It's just, yeah, it's the same weapon as Hauser. Inflict pierce damage equal to 604% to one enemy. 3 times pierce rate. Not the greatest ult, but I think most of her damage is definitely coming from that Sea Dragon's Roar. Once again, I could have made this to a Transformer character, but I didn't have time. And yeah, I didn't want to... I mean, Noelle doesn't really do too much things apart from just stabbing things in that in a Valkyrie armor, so I couldn't really come up with an idea for her. But there is Noelle. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's 4 characters, what about the last one? So this is once again another spoiler warning, because she does get revealed later on, or very, very late into the series. Okay, so we have SSR Black Bull Secre Swallowtail. So she is human. Now I was kind of tempted to put her to unknown, because well, it makes sense, right? Because she does use a like forbidden magic, so she does kind of lose her humanity a bit, but I think she's still human, right? So here's the skills you can see on screen. You can recognize some of them. There's a heal. There's also a debuff skill, which we're going to get into. So firstly, here's the skill. So the passive revives and becomes immune to damage for 1 turn. So kind of like Hellbrum, but rather than Hellbrum dying after one skill is being used, she just completely becomes invincible, like that last current boss we had. Now the reason why is because, once again, spoiler alert, she does turn to a bird, and I want some way for them to introduce the bird mechanic, or like, you know, her turn into a bird for 1 turn. So as soon as she dies, I mean, I don't know how it's going to work with Elizabeth passive, but she does die, and she turns into a bird, and then she just floats there for like a whole turn. It'll be kind of sick, kind of cute as well. But here's the first skill. Sealer Magic, I don't think it has an official name, which is why it's called Sealer Magic. Inflicts damage equal to 250% of attack onto one enemy, and petrifies for 2 turns. Literally the same thing we have in the game. She does turn, I guess, the Wizard King to a statue in the anime, and also she can unlock things. So this will already, this literally already a skill in the game. So I mean, there's no point talking about more about it because it's already a skill. But in the second one, now once again, with what I've done already in the past, this may be broken, but this is what she does in the anime, right? So heals an ally for 300% of attack, and then grants seal for 1 turn. Okay, so this is a new ability that I've kind of made, and it makes sense towards in the anime, because she does seal Asta's like damage, where he can't feel anything for like a few minutes, and afterward he starts feeling it and he starts hurting him a bit. So it's kind of the idea behind this one. So what it does is, she can add a buff onto someone, which is going to be seal, becomes immune to damage, and then the damage is dealt at the end of the next turn. So you have your turn. You buff up your I guess your Lost Vein. Your Lost Vein takes some damage during that turn. The next turn, he still doesn't take any damage. He uses his card, so his ultimate, kills the whole team. But then when the ultimate does end, or the next turn does end, the damage is dealt, so you're going to take a lot of damage. Now, you can't stack these, so if someone already has the buff, it wouldn't work. Once again, a little bit broken, because you can essentially give evade to anyone, but they do take damage at the start of the next turn. And with the revivability on her, and like say, imagine Elizabeth, this could be broken skill. Like, this could be like the new king, essentially, right? It's kind of mad. But then here is the Eternal Prison, her ultimate. So what she does is she inflicts damage equal to 660% of attack onto one enemy, imprisons the user for 1 turn. Now, imprison is very similar to expel, like what Ozone Hawk has, but it's going to work a little bit different. So what it does is, okay, so it deals 100% of the ultimate damage if no skill is used during a turn. So while this person is in prison, for them to break out of it and not take damage extra, they have to use a skill. So if you have an ultimate, they have to use the ultimate, and if they do use it, then it completely removes the ultimate gauge. It's a pretty good ability if you think about it, right? Now, they could just use a tier 1, which will break out of it. But if they don't break out, it would deal 100% of the damage again. Now, bear in mind, this may be 6-6. You may it may work like Eskimos, where if it's 1-6, it's only 20% of the damage. But it's a pretty cool ability that I think would work for the character. Now, that is all for the characters, boys. Now, let's go over the costumes, because they do have some costumes. Now, the costumes, obviously, they always give 2 UR sets and 1 SR set or SSR set for free. So, I'm going to read out, I guess, what I would think would be a suitable outfits. Granted, they normally make something completely random, but for the sake of it, I'm just going to say, I'm going to give 3 examples, right? So, Asta will have his Royal outfit. That'll be, obviously, a UR. His next UR will be a swimsuit, because, yes, it makes sense. But the time skip version of Asta, which doesn't change too much, will be the one given for free. Noelle will have her Royal outfit. Once again, she does wear it. Plus, the swimsuit, boys. This will be a must purchase for most people. But then also as well, for the free one, for the SSR, she'll get the maid outfit. Okay, for Yuno, this one will be the free one, which will be a black outfit he wears when he's sort of younger, especially like the first 2 episodes of Black Clover. And then also the paid one, even though it isn't artwork, the way I did it, the Royal Knight outfit will be purchasable with it, or basically a UR set. And then something completely random, she doesn't really wear anything else in the show. And then for Yami will have his Magic Knight outfit, which will be, I guess, purchasable. It's kind of like a black robe. Maybe this will be the SR one, because it's too similar to his actual original. The swimsuit will be one that he wears. Not really a swimsuit, it's more like a little a beach outfit celebration he did during the anime. And then also he wear outfit, or this, I guess the next one will be a UR, will be Yami outfit that he wore as a kid. Once again, Yami doesn't wear too many things, so it's hard to pick out one. And then for Secre, once again, she doesn't get too many outfits because she is very new to anime, but she does have a 7 outfit, which you'll probably have to purchase for. The next one, which is definitely going to be purchasable, will be the maid outfit that she wears during, I think, a filler episode. Pretty good outfit, I'm not gonna lie, boys. And then also, I guess the last one will just be something random. She is very new to the anime and also the manga, so she doesn't get too many outfits, but yeah, I think the ones that we said, the 2 main ones will definitely be the ones they get, and then something random, once again, probably similar to Yami. But then that is it for the characters, boys. Quite a hefty bit of stuff there, but there was quite a lot to talk about, so I hope you guys did enjoy it. Now, let's move on to the events. So every collab that gets added, there's always sort of 3 events. You have a main story quest, which once again, I mean, it can be anything related to Black Clover. I'm not going to really go over that bit, but then there's always 2 like little PvE missions and also sort of a boss. We had what, the Titan Conquest, we had the final boss Rugal, and we also had the raid boss. So 3 different things, but I think for this one it makes sense. So we're gonna have a final boss Devil. Now the reason why is because the Devil does actually transform. You know, he goes like his old weird form, which will make sense during the second phase of the final boss, so it makes a little bit of sense to do that. The second event will be sort of a PvE quest. Once again, I didn't make anything here because I didn't really know what to start off with, but since there was an episode called Storming the Eye of the Midnight Sun's hideout, this will be the event, sort of like I'd say sort of like the actual King of Fighters like tournament edition one, but it'll be more of like a little event where you start at the bottom of the Midnight Sun, and you gotta work your way to the top where you verse Licked. That'll be a cool idea. And then you get some points, you get some currency that you can trade for tickets, you can trade for outfits, all that good stuff. But yes, I think that finally concludes the video. Feels a bit weird to say that I'm ending it right now because I've been working it for the last 3 weeks. But there we go. We covered the whole event, the whole the final boss even. We covered the 4 or 5 characters for this case, but the 4 characters, the outfits, everything to do with the collab. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, like I said at the start of the video, if you did make it this far in, definitely hit the like button and definitely show the support on this video because it does take time to make, and I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think of the actual, I guess, the abilities and all these characters. I know they are quite broken if they were to be added to the game, especially for a collab, but it is what it is. And yeah, let me know what your favorite one was. Mine's definitely probably Yuno's, to be fair. I don't know. Asta's kind of cool as well. But yeah, that is all for me today. Make sure you comment as well on what you want the next one to be, episode 2 or episode 3. I'm guessing most people say Demon Slayer, so just comment what you want. But yeah, yeah, like I said, it's so weird to end it now because I've been working it for so while. But yeah, we have to end it here. So thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure, boys. Peace.